Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Vic White, the principal of Palombi Middle School, and on behalf of Lake Villa School District 41, I would like to welcome you to Peter J. Palombi's 2020 virtual graduation ceremony. Will you please rise for the national anthem to honor our servicemen and women who serve and protect our freedom.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly he at the twilight's last gleaming, whose stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, when the ramparts we watched were silently streaming, and the rockets strike the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It is now my pleasure to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Lynette Zimmer, to open our ceremony with a few words.
I know getting to this graduation day hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy for your teachers who had to learn how to do remote learning practically overnight. They've turned their kitchens and their living rooms into classrooms so that you could learn. It hasn't been easy for your parents, many of whom are working online at home, many more, unfortunately, unemployed, all while trying to raise a family during a pandemic. It hasn't been easy. And it hasn't been easy for you. Everyone in the class of 2020 will have stories to tell. Stories to tell of dreams stolen, of dances not held, of field trips never taken. Stories to tell of friendships they tried to maintain while social distancing. No, it hasn't been easy, and it hasn't been fair. But rather than thinking about all the things that have been taken away, graduates, think about yourselves as part of a generation that gave, that sacrificed. We often hear about the greatest generation of Americans who endured the Great Depression and then World War II. There was incredible hardship, mass unemployment. Over 400,000 Americans died in the war. Basic necessities, including food and gasoline, were rationed. My own parents were part of that generation. They didn't ask to be. History simply found them. And now, history has found you. Getting through hardship is what made the greatest generation great. So how did they do it? And how did they get through? They did it the same way we must do now. They put others first. It's about putting we over me. We must think and act on what's best for others, not just what's best for me. Class of 2020, someday your kids and your grandkids are going to ask you, what was it like to live through a pandemic? What was it like to be part of history? And you're going to tell them stories of loss. Tell them stories of schools disrupted, of dances and field trips not held, and people becoming very, very ill. But you're also going to be able to tell them stories of sacrifice for the collective good. Stories of people stepping up to help elderly neighbors too afraid or too scared to get out to get their own groceries or medications. Stories of people volunteering at food banks to help those long lines get their much needed groceries. Stories of people like you wearing face masks so others don't get sick. Stories of essential workers in hospitals, in stores, driving trucks, working in food packaging plants, going to work every single day so that we could have what we need. It's not about me for them. You'll have stories of people putting others first. And class of 2020, thank you for being sacrificers. Thank you for being givers. Congratulations, class of 2020. I can't imagine a better group of leaders to help us shape history.
It is my pleasure to introduce the Lake Villa School District 41 Board President, Michael Conway, to speak to us in these unprecedented times.
Good evening to the Palombi Class of 2020 graduates and their parents, family members, as well as District 41 teachers and administrators. I am Mike Conway, Lake Villa District 41 Board of Education President. It is a privilege to have the opportunity to speak to all of you on behalf of the school board for this virtual graduation ceremony. Every year, the Board of Education always has the pleasure of attending 8th grade graduation ceremonies to give each graduate their respective diploma covers. And although the ceremony is different this year, it does not prevent me from virtually giving you your diploma covers and a handshake or elbow bump on behalf of my fellow board members. That's social distancing, even during a virtual graduation ceremony. The theme of the ceremony tonight is related to giving, and I would like to say a few words on that topic also. Robert Louis Stevenson, a Scottish writer from the 1800s, once said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant." This comment reflects the importance of giving as it relates to our District 41 students. The education that our district offers each of the children in our community is very much similar to planting seeds. Through thoughtful care and nourishment provided each day of the school year by our teachers and staff, the seeds of District 41, our students, develop and grow into wonderful, amazing citizens of our community that will ultimately give back their respective talents and gifts for the benefit of others. This leads to another quote from Winston Churchill, former Prime Minister of England in the 1940s. He said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." In District 41, we have provided each of you with the solid foundation of your education to help you transition into the next chapter of your educational experience. You each have developed a variety of interests, which will continue to expand as you move on to high school and beyond. That continued experience and opportunity for learning will assist you in giving your best. A third quote is from renowned Spanish artist Pablo Picasso. He once said, "The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away." It is the hope of the Board of Education that your experience throughout District 41 has been such that you have started to develop a passion that will lead you throughout your life. Whether your passion is in math, science, technology, art, music, sports, or a myriad of other possibilities, the best way to utilize any gift that you have been given is to share it with others. Whichever high school you may be attending next year, be it Grant, Grayslake North, Lakes, Carmel, or any other school, we encourage you to continue to nourish and feed the talents that you have started to develop, and also to explore other areas of interest as well. Each and every one of you has been a gift to District 41, and District 41 has provided each of you a gift in the form of a solid foundation for your education. This leads to the last quote that I will share with you from Anne Frank, the teenager who kept perhaps the most infamous diary during World War II. She once said, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." This is such an amazing sentiment coming from a person who is only a year or two older than each of you are currently. Now is the time for each of you to go out and share your gifts with new friends and teachers, and to do your part to improve the world. But please remember this: you can always come back and show your teachers from District 41 how your talents have continued to grow. Perhaps those talents need a little extra nurturing to fully bloom. Your teachers would certainly enjoy seeing you, and we most definitely welcome receiving a gift like that from each of our students. Congratulations and good luck, Palombi Class of 2020.
At this time, I welcome Palombi's Illinois Principal Association Student of the Year recipients, Rachel Garrick and Lucas Adams, to impart some words of wisdom to our graduates.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first, hopefully not annual, virtual graduation at Palombi.
I hope you all have at least a hint of sanity left and are happy and healthy. Even though we were in school only a portion of the year, I want to acknowledge a few positive memories of the school year that happened before COVID-19. The Veterans Day Assembly and Concert, the Walking Dwarves presented by Palombi Players, Pink Out Day and Dance, the Glow Dance, Spirit Weeks, sports games and conferences, Valentine's Carnation Sale, and the Pep Assembly, and many others.
All of these events required hours upon hours of planning, so we would quickly like to thank our incredible staff for their commitment to making our middle school experience as enjoyable and memorable as possible. Rachel and I have had many incredible teachers throughout our years at District 41. In fact, the reason why we are so dedicated to our learning is because of the amazing teachers and role models that we have had throughout our education. In kindergarten, teachers helped us to read and write simple words. Grades 1 and 3 expanded on these skills and taught us basic math. Grades 4 through 6 continued to grow our minds with more complicated equations and material. Everything was similar. You would learn something and grow upon it. There was a certain consistency to it. It got a little different in middle school. You suddenly had so many new things thrown at you. Instead of 1 or 2 teachers, there was now 7 or 8. There were more assignments, more deadlines, more things to do, along with those wretched lockers. There suddenly was over 200 people's names to learn and over 200 people to possibly get acquainted with. But this, after a few hectic days and sleepless nights, students started seeing the other side to junior high. Middle school has been such an amazing opportunity to find out who you are, put general. You could suddenly have outlets for your hobbies and find your interests. We have to thank Palombi for giving us so many different opportunities for many different types of people. From linguistics clubs to school acting club, Palombi Players, our school has given everyone an opportunity to discover their new interests and meet new people.
It has admittedly not been easy, though. Striving in a modern society has been rather difficult throughout the years. We have been working hard to be the best students and people we can be. It's crazy how some simple passion towards school can make such an instrumental difference. It can mean the difference between an A or a B, a pass or a fail, and a good reputation or bad. Being well educated means you can make a difference with what you believe in. It gives you power to discern between right and wrong. Understanding how important learning is and how hard work is can be vital to being a successful, reliable, and intelligent individual. This is my call to action for all of you. Work hard every day to make your dreams a reality. Set the bar high. Try out for that team you wanted. Learn the new language you always wanted to. Aim for the 100 on the test. Even though we might not be able to do these things right now, don't you ever lose sight of what you want in the future. These small decisions to keep pursuing what you want can lead you down a bright and prosperous path. The decision is yours, so you make it happen.
It is sad to say goodbye, but the memories made here at Peter J. Palombi Middle School will never, ever leave us.
Congrats, Lancers, on completing 8th grade. Good luck.
Traditionally, Palombi holds a Leadership Day to recognize many outstanding accomplishments by our students. Awards are given for citizenship, art, band, computers, PE, Athlete of the Year, music, NJHS, who will receive gold tassels on June 2nd through 5th, Student Council, Spanish, Palombi Players, and the Presidential Academic Achievement and Excellence Awards. A video of these awards were sent to parents and students prior to graduation.
Good evening, students, parents, family members. Welcome to this evening's 2020 graduation, as strange as it is this year. At this time, I do have the privilege of announcing our scholarship recipients, and we have 8 that we are giving out this year. Our first, the Dan Dreyer Memorial Scholarship, is named in honor of Mr. Dan Dreyer, who worked and served on the District Board of Education from 1988 to 1981 and was instrumental in the formation of the local iceless hockey leagues. The recipient of the Dan Dreyer Memorial Scholarship is Nathaniel Casillas. Our next award, the Frank Grinnis Memorial Scholarship, is named to honor Mr. Frank Grinnis, who farmed all his life in the Lakeville area and served in the Board of Education from 1981 to 1985. He is remembered by those who worked with him as being very fiscally responsible and helped the district at a time of need to get out of their financial crisis. The recipient of the Frank Grinnis Memorial Scholarship is Diana No. Our third scholarship, the Paul Years Memorial Scholarship, is named to honor Mr. Paul Years, who was at one time a vice president at the First American Bank in Lake Villa. He assisted Dr. Palombi in the formation of the Early Scholarship Fund, as well as the management of the investments that make these scholarships possible today. The recipient of the Paul Years Scholarship is Kylie Tillman. Next, we have the Gina Allen Memorial Scholarship, which is named to honor Miss Gina Allen. She was a student who graduated from our district and met an untimely death in an automobile accident as a senior in high school. Gina's mother, Mary Allen, served in the District Board of Education from 1978 to 1989. The recipient of the Gina Allen Scholarship is Claire Haney. Next, we have the Glenn Camp and Tom Scott Scholarship. Mr. Glenn Camp served as principal of Palombi Middle School, then known as Lakeville Intermediate School, from 1975 to 1994. Mr. Camp secured strong academic progress and was known for treating students fairly. Mr. Tom Scott served as the principal of Pleviac School from 1977 to 1993. He was very dedicated to education and gave his students and the school his utmost as school principal. The recipient of the Glenn Camp and Tom Scott Principal Scholarship is Ella Kilmer. Next, we have the Lindenhurst Area Civic Club Scholarship. After 50 years of fond memories and many charitable and recreational community projects instituted and supported by the Lindenhurst Area Civic Club, the members at their final meeting decided to donate their assets to various community organizations and to establish a continuing scholarship in the name of the Lindenhurst Area Civic Club. The recipient of the Lindenhurst Civic Club Scholarship is Rachel Garrich. Our next scholarship to be announced is after the founder of our school, Peter J. Palombi. Peter J. Palombi was superintendent in District 41 from 1972 to 1992. During these years, Dr. Palombi brought educational innovation into the district and set us on a strong financial foothold. He was a father figure to all in the District 41 community and has been very supportive both financially and with his time and energies since he retired. The recipient of the Peter J. Palombi Scholarship is Jacqueline Benfelt. Our last scholarship this evening is the Maura Braun Scholarship. The Board of Education received a bequest from the will of Miss Braun back in 1998, creating the Maura Braun Grant. The grant has previously been used to help fund projects and programs for staff and students. In 2014, the Board of Education created a scholarship to honor Miss Braun and her generosity to District 41. The recipient of this year's Maura Braun Scholarship is Kennedy Kilmer. Congratulations to all of our scholarship winners, and best of luck in your future.
Now I get to talk to the graduates themselves. I'm sure you've had some time to reminisce about your career at Lake Villa during this quarantine. Back in the year 2011, 2012, all of our graduates were venturing into their kindergarten classes. Dr. Clean, Dr. Kindbounds, Dr. Planick, Mr. Santopadre, and all the teachers were excited to meet you. You became used to your reading time at the carpet or in a special place in your homeroom. I am here to provide you with your last read aloud from your Lake Villa 41 school experience. Pick a comfy spot and let's begin. I will be reading a fitting book for this time and my favorite book ever by Shel Silverstein, The Giving Tree. As I read, I want everyone to visualize your path from those early days of kindergarten up until now. The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older, and the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk, and swing from my branches, and eat apples, and play in my shade, and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I am too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house. You may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time. And when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered. "Come and play." "I am too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy. But not really. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I am sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone." "My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I am too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I am too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump." "I am sorry. I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as she could, "well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. What an amazing but yet simple story. It is a story about the environment and nature. This is about a man's relationship with nature. Nature truly gives us and gives and gives and gives, and as long as possible. We are so fortunate to live on this earth that gives us food, the birds chirping, the squirrels squabbling, the warmth of the sun, and a beautiful breeze coming from the ocean. I hope that you have surrounded yourself with this beauty during this time and recognize how lucky we are to live where we live. Take care of our planet, our country, and continue to give back to it so we have it for many years to come. The other part of this story that I really want to highlight is the lesson about unconditional love. That is the kind of love that parents have for their children, that your parents have had for you growing up, that teachers and administrators from kindergarten all the way through 8th grade have provided you. Parents, please continue to give unconditional love to your children as they embark on the next path of their education and on their way to their careers. And students, recognize what others have given to you and are going to continue to give to you. Be grateful, give back, and you will be given back tenfold. Our time on earth is not unlimited, and how we treat each other will be etched in the memory of the people that know us. Yes, reach for your dreams. Reach for your potential, because it is great, and we have seen it. Every one of you has something special to offer this world, and don't forget it. Please love yourself for your uniqueness. Try to be what you want to be, and give back to others on your way to the top. The Board of Education usually assists me in handing out the class of 2020 their diplomas. They're definitely missing this opportunity to celebrate your graduation. I want to thank them for their dedication to our students. On behalf of the Board of Education, teachers, and administrators of Lake Villa 41, we will now highlight our graduates. Please feel free to hoot, holler, and celebrate in your living room after a child's picture comes across. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I give you the Palombi Middle School graduating class of 2020. Students will be handed their diploma in the pickup drop-off time scheduled for June 2nd through 5th. Thank you for coming together as a community during this time. Graduates, we have missed you, we will miss you, and we wish you the best of luck.